Hi there, and welcome to Pregnancy Q&A with Jessica. Today's question is, can I have bubble tea in pregnancy? So I'm guessing the question really is bubble tea safe in pregnancy? So this is sort of a three-part question. So number one, are the tapioca balls safe in pregnancy? Is there too much caffeine in bubble tea? And is there too much sugar in bubble tea? So if you're not sure, bubble tea is a Taiwanese tea and it's made of a milk base. And so in this milk base, they usually have it's tea, added sugars or added syrup, the tapioca balls, which sit at the bottom layer and make up the tea. And traditionally, they shake it, and so there's bubbles at the top, and that's actually where the name comes from. It's not from the tapioca balls that sit at the bottom of the tea. So to answer the first part of the question, are the tapioca balls safe to have in pregnancy? And yes, they are. They're a safe food to have in pregnancy. The second question is there too much caffeine in bubble tea? So the guidelines are to limit your caffeine to a moderate amount. So about under 200 milligrams per day, limit as much as possible. So caffeine does pass through the placenta barrier to the baby, and babies that are growing in your tummy cannot metabolize caffeine. So we really want to keep the amount to a minimum. But the amount in a 16-ounce bubble tea, which is the average size that someone might buy, is 130 milligrams. So if that's the only caffeine that you were having, that's okay. That's not an unsafe amount to have as long as you're watching your other foods like coffee and tea and any pop with caffeine in it, chocolate, or any other caffeinated foods or beverages. The last question is there too much sugar in bubble tea? And here's where it does vary the amount, but there can be about 38 to 54 grams of sugar in that 16-ounce bubble tea, which is about 9 to 13 and a half teaspoons, and this is quite a lot of sugar. So just like the caffeine, sugar also passes through the placenta barrier. So when we eat any carbohydrate food, whether that's added sugars or from grains and starches, milk and fruit, this breaks down into sugar in our stomach, and we need to move it. It goes into our bloodstream, and we need to move it into our cells where we can use it for energy. But if we're having too much added sugars or the mother has gestational diabetes, the blood sugars can build up, and this passes through to the placenta, and the baby can get this extra sugar. So extra sugar can cause the baby to be large for gestational age, which means over 9 pounds or 4 kilograms. And this can also be a complication after birth. If the baby is getting all of this extra sugar during pregnancy, its pancreas is used to producing that insulin to help move the sugars into the baby's cells. The baby is born, it doesn't have that same input of sugar, and this can actually cause hypoglycemia or low blood sugar after the baby is born. So we definitely want to watch the amount of sugar that we're having and limit it as much as possible. It's definitely a myth that we're eating for two. We really want to think that any of those extra calories that we need in second and third trimester are coming from nutritious foods for the extra nutrients that we do need, such as iron. So I hope that answers your question. I guess overall, once in a while, it probably wouldn't be harmful to have a bubble tea, but not something that you want to include into your regular meal plan or have regularly. Bye for now.